Hello, Velveteers! This is Bad Timing with Velvet Tom. I'm your host, lover, loser, legend, Velvet Tom. Welcome to episode 6 of my podcast, Bad Timing. It's an understatement when we talk about the year 2020. I think a lot of people thought that this was going to be their year, and it clearly is for some people, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure there are a lot of people who are like, what's the big deal? Quarren what? Protest too? But here we are, middle of the year 2020. A lot going on this weekend. When you're listening to this, it's Father's Day, so happy fathers to all you fathers out there. All you attentive fathers, It's easy to be a dad. All you got to do is make sure your sperm takes. But are you a dad? So here's a celebration to you. I hope you get that power tool / tie / day off / driver / golf balls / cup phone / whatever that gift is that is thoughtful enough that you don't have to ask for it for Christmas. Happy Father's Day to you. I had a dad. It'll be 7 years this year since he passed. And our thing was gardening. So I've planted a little garden. I got some tomato plants. I got a cucumber plant. I got some basil, oregano, a couple of peppers. Working up around there. I got a little garden, and it is in the memory of my dad who taught me how to grow things. So I think that's pretty special. And if you're ever curious on how to grow things, well, get a plant, get some dirt, get some water, put it in the sun, and watch the magic. Because that is the magical extent of it. And taking care of it, and then feeding it so there's other things, and pruning it, and creating a relationship with it where you talk to it and it doesn't talk back. That is gardening. So I encourage you to do that. As always, thank you for supporting the podcast. Thank you for listening. And again, to find out more about me, Velvet Tom, go to Velvet Central, which is velvettom.com, the epicenter for all things Velvet Tom. You can get to all of my social media. Go to my YouTube page because I do a audio visual version of this podcast with pictures of my guests, sanctioned, sent to me from them, okay to post, nothing to see here. So go to my website. You can listen to the podcast on my homepage, and you can go to other places to listen to it where it has no popularity whatsoever, but that's okay. That is cool. Just keep on listening. I really do appreciate it. And if you'd like to donate any money to the show, you can do that through Venmo, because that's what artists are using. They're using Venmo. They're using Patreon. I'm using Venmo. Any amount would be very helpful, and that's at Velvet-Tom. So I really appreciate it. Thank you again. I love you. I almost didn't do an episode 6 because I didn't really have a guest lined up. Let's put it this way. I didn't have a lot of initiative to get a guest, but one just messaged me out of the blue from Vancouver, Canada, asking me, hey, how's it going in Los Angeles? Because I have TV and the internet and a brain and eyes, and I'm looking at what's going on down there. So she gave me a welfare message. It is my former student, character actor, Elsi Eng. Elsie, I met at a film school here in Los Angeles where I was a comedy and improv teacher for about 2 years, I think. Yeah, 2 years. And we met there, and I knew right then that she had mad character actor abilities. And she was a very good student, and I've been happy to, I guess, mentor her in a way to make sure that she gets to explore all of the opportunities she can down here in LA to be a TV and film actor. But she lives in Vancouver, and she works. You're going to hear a lot about her career since leaving that film school and being a former student. I think you're definitely going to like this interview. It's a long one. We just chatter. And I got to tell you what, I think she's got great interview skills because I found her interviewing me during this process. So it really is, it's iconoclasts coming together. It is the student is now the master talking to the master, and so we're just having a great conversation of what's been going on with us since we last saw each other face to face, which was many, many years ago. So listen to this wonderful conversation with now master of character work. She's going to love that. Elsi Eng.
Ooh, where did I go? That was fun.
Okay, there we go. There you go. Okay, cool. Now you're bigger on my screen.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I have us side by side, so it looks like we're talking to one another.
So good to see you.
Good to see you too. When's the last time that I actually saw you? I mean, it's been...
I was an infant. I grew up a lot since.
I think so too. I think me too. I've grown up a lot since then.
Well, you still look the same. You haven't changed.
Oh, well.
Whoops. Okay.
Well, thank
Hello?
you. I'm here.
Oh.
I am so here. It's so good to have you. We've been meaning to do this for a little while, and this is also necessary for a big step that you want to take, which is getting the hell out of Canada for a little while.
Yes, and just are we recording?
Yeah.
Already? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Do you want to? Yeah, no, that's fine.
I didn't know we were recording.
I'm gonna cut some things out. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah, that was the plan. But just right now, just dealing with the aftermath of all this craziness. We had the lockdown. You guys had that too in the States, and the global pandemic is it's not exactly over yet. So nobody knows exactly when it's going to be completely safe and when life is going to be completely back to normal. So as long as that it's still unsure, I don't think I can make any moves right now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, everyone is just staying put for now. And probably people should stay put more, and then we can get this done with a little faster.
Exactly. Yeah. If more people can just really just follow the rules. I mean, I've been doing my part by staying home and practicing social distancing for over 3 months. And but it hasn't been that tough for me because I'm really good at keeping myself busy at home. I've been doing lots of spring. Well, it's no longer spring, but I did lots of spring cleaning, journaling. I do meditation every day, and I've been editing my travel blogs for my YouTube.
Oh yeah, I've watched a couple of those. So you found ways of staying busy, like how about non-entertainment related? Well, I mean, I wouldn't say the meditation is related. however you get down here, everybody meditates. But also, I I can speak to the power of meditation. I do it while I wash dishes. That's my meditative time. So when I sit there and just wash dishes, I just to myself.
That's so great. Oh my God. I should try that.
I find some time to escape. But quieting your mind's good. How about anything else? Any gardening, any baking? Are you doing anything like that?
No, not so much, not so much. I like to focus on creative work more. I mean, I'm sure cooking is very creative and gardening too, but the weather it hasn't exactly warmed up enough for me to be outside as much yet.
What has it?
It has been raining, and it's still like people are still like, today we're having a great day today, but a few weeks, like for the past few weeks, people are still wearing jackets and so yeah, so I haven't been.
Where are you again?
I'm in Vancouver, Canada.
You're in Vancouver. Okay,
Yes.
still cool up in Vancouver. Okay, you're still having a spring, and it's
Yes. Hello from the great north.
it's good. Vancouver's good. It's been a while since I've been. It's been many years since I've been, and it was a great visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I liked it a lot. Were
Aw.
you? Is that where you were born and raised? Were you?
Yes.
You are Canadian.
I am very Canadian.
What would you say is your most Canadian quality that comes out all the time?
I'm very apologetic. And I think, yeah, that's I can't deny it. Like, I'm very apologetic. It's and I would apologize to a rock if I'm accidentally um, get in the way of a rock. And what else is very Canadian of me? I do like Tim Hortons. I do like their ice cap, but I'm trying to stay away from that because it's so sweet. It's loaded with
Tim
sugar.
Hortons. What's a Tim Hortons? I think
That's
I don't know what it is.
That's like a coffee chain up here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's very popular.
Okay. All right. I've heard of it. So, all right. So I've heard it referenced in songs and jokes, Canadian jokes. Well, there you go. Now I know. I probably could have looked it up myself, but you are my Canadian Google right now. So.
Oh my God! All right, use me.
So you've been editing that travel blog. I've watched a couple of those.
Thank you.
Now, okay, so you were, tell me how that all came about. You obviously you just weren't talent on that. It looks like you had a bigger stake in that than just being the travel blogger itself.
Well, I'm an actor, as you know.
Yes.
You were one of my teachers at New York Film Academy.
Yes, we will talk about that first day. I have a very, very good memory of that first day of meeting you guys.
Oh, yeah. And you were my favorite teacher.
Oh, thank you.
Comedy improv was my favorite class. You were my favorite teacher. And I was looking forward to your class all the time. I was like, when are we gonna, be taking comedy improv with Tom again? Because I just have so much fun in that class. It didn't feel like class. It just felt like playtime. It would be studies, scene studies, and playtime with Tom, and then back to scene studies.
Playtime with Tom. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, it wasn't really a class that you had to spend a lot of time to memorize things. So, it was there to go and loose you up. Really, if anything, it was just really a 3-hour warm-up class for you to go do whatever else you needed to do.
And yeah, thank you. I've learned so much in that class, and I think it's definitely helped with my later on the comedy roles I had to take on. And but back to well, I'm an actor, but I also love to travel, and I love creating content. So I thought I'd be using these I'd be like using these passion of mine and make it into something, creating some content for YouTube.
Yes, and tell us some of the places that you've gone. You've gone to some
Yeah, right. So one of my
usual, not first choice for a lot of people locations.
okay, I was gonna say Italy but that's
Well,
that's
yes.
not there's nothing unusual about Italy, but I've been going to Italy for 2 years, back to back in a row. I was just there I just had my Italian summer there last August, and I spent my time between Sestri Levante, Cinque Terre, and Portofino, and I was picking up a little Italian there.
Yes.
So actually, I was really sad when this whole pandemic happened, and I found out that Italy is one of the countries that suffer the most in this pandemic.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh my God, I was just there, and all these beautiful people are dying, and people, losing their loved ones to this virus. It's crazy. I actually, my heart was really broken. And well, now we're just all praying for scientists and researchers to develop this vaccine soon, so our life can actually go back to normal again. And but aside from Italy, if you ask me what are some of the more unknown places I've traveled to, I was in Bratislava. That's the capital city of Slovakia.
I think that's what I watched. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I found this beautiful little town there called oh my God, it's called Bratislava. Oh my God, what's the it's so unknown, I even forgot. It's got this beautiful
It was a memorable journey.
The town is built on top of a volcano,
Ooh.
what used to be a volcano, right, and it just looks like a storybook little town. It's called, drum rolls, Banska Štiavnica.
Oh wow, that's a mouthful.
So forgive me for not remembering that. Banska Štiavnica. And then I also went to visit Czech Republic, and there is also a really beautiful town, but I think that's more well known among tourists. It's called oh my God, the drum rolls. It's called, oh my God. Okay, Czech Republic's, okay, the capital of, let me just
Yes.
retrace my memories a little bit. The capital of Czech Republic is Prague,
Yeah.
and then right beside it, Český Krumlov.
Ooh, wow.
Český Krumlov. Yes.
Right there next to Prague. Now you've been there, and you've covered that area.
Oh yes, I've covered every corner of that little town.
Now, so describe, you're out on the streets, you're shooting. Are you a one-person production crew here? Who do you got with you? Who is your travel buddy?
Right. I was very lucky. I had a cinematographer, like a professional cinematographer friend with me. So we were traveling together, and so I had a little bit of help. Couldn't have done it by myself.
I was wondering, I've seen some pictures where you've traveled with your mom, and I was wondering if you put the camera in your mom's hand and said, "Okay, Mom, go ahead and shoot."
Yeah, she's one of my director of photography as well.
Okay, well, keep it a family business. That's what I say.
I'm also teaching her editing. So that's going great.
That is great. That is wonderful. Well, you could just make you a family business. It's just Elsi Eng, with your mom as executive vice president of editing.
Yeah. Just keep the good stuff within the family. It'll be like a family business.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's well, you're lucky to have somebody else. I loved watching those. I didn't really realize how long ago those were. So those have been in the last couple of years you've done that?
Yeah. The last time I traveled, to Europe was probably, it was almost a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was the US like coming back here because your goal was to return here? I uh, I think I spoke to you about that. We messaged a lot about that. I was able to help by updating that letter for you to get you
Oh,
back in.
thank you. Thank
Is
you.
that was that your next big travel, or did you have somewhere else in mind that you were going to go? You know?
No, Los Angeles is my next travel. It has been the plan since the beginning of this year, and then the pandemic happened. So everything's been pushed back. Even the border, the Canadian US border,
Yes.
is still it's not reopened yet. They keep pushing the date back a month at a time. It was supposed to open the day after tomorrow, but then our prime minister just announced that it's going to be pushed back for one more month. So now the new date is 21st of July, but we don't know if it's going to get pushed again or what's going on. Is life ever going to be back to normal again? Is Elsie ever going to make her way down to the States?
No on the first one, yes on the second one, really. I don't know. I mean, whatever normal is going to be, it's going to be a
Man.
whole new set of rules for the world. And I'm not sure what it's going to look like, but it looks like we're in the process, especially down here in the US, you know. We seem to be shedding some skin right now, so to speak. And it seems to be for the better, even though, you know, you've heard of growing pains, and well, it hurts. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
it's hurting a lot of people who enjoy the static fundamentalism of American life. They don't want it to change. They don't want anything to go away, because that's how they look at things. When change that is overdue is happening, it seems like people are uncomfortable with that change. And I don't know. There's kind of a there's kind of a giddiness with me enjoying watching people twist with all this change, because you know, I don't mean to be cruel. I don't mean to sound cruel. It's just that you can't convince a person enough that things need to be different, and that your normalcy is going to change, and you know, you might have to, you know, wait in line to go to a grocery store. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean,
Oh yeah.
but you know, for the greater good, I think there will be a point where we can take our masks off, where we don't have to have our faces covered anymore. I think that there will be a point with that, but I don't know when that's going to be. I mean, I'm thinking that seems next yearish for me.
Yeah, my mom, when we had a walk in the park earlier, she's like, are you just bummed out because we can't go out to a cafe or we can't dine out at the moment? I'm like, you know what, Mom, I don't care about that so much.
Yeah.
I just want to reunite with my favorite people like Tom, like all my other best friends in LA. I just want to be with you guys already. Like, seriously, like this, like, you know, this digital communication we have is cool, yeah, but you know, it's nothing like, you know, face-to-face interactions.
It really isn't. No, I think that's the number one reason that I started the podcast in the first place, was just to connect with my friends, was just to be able to talk to my friends and find out, hey, I know you had some stuff going on before this. What was it? Let's go ahead and talk about it, because it's bound to pick back up. You know, I think that's probably the only normalcy for me, is just keeping on going with my year. You know, even though I can't go out on auditions, I'm not a Universal. I mean, there's still stuff that needs to be done. You were just reading a litany of things that are keeping you busy, you know, and
Yeah.
that's just to stay focused, you know, that's just to, you know, keep calm and carry on, or participate in this world change?
Yeah, just doing what we can to stay creative, because we are artists. So this is what we do. It doesn't matter if we can do it with a professional crew, or like, a bigger group, or just on our own doing our own shows. We just gotta, stay creative. Yeah.
Yep. Keep on staying creative, keep on staying focused, find some humor in all of this, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so what year was it? Was it 2010 that I first met you? Has it been 10 years ago?
Yeah, oh my God. Yes.
And I think that, I don't know, when I saw you, you were wearing furry boots and a ski vest, and your hair
Oh,
was in like ponytails. You look like you'd just come off the playa from Burning Man. And
oh
you
my
guys,
God.
you I mean, I remember that specifically. You had the most energy. You were the most glad to see me out of that entire class. And everybody just sort of matched your energy. They were like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, we definitely vibed. My style has changed a lot since. It has, matured.
I
Less.
loved it, by the way. I mean, I was like, "Oh, this class is going to be fun. Oh, this one."
Yeah, I miss that time when I was like so free to dress up like that, just because it's like I was younger, and it's like who cares? But now it's like I have to like at least dress a little bit more mature now. Just
No more
otherwise,
furry
it's
boots.
like,
No more furry boots that you have.
yeah, no. But I'm not exactly I'm not exactly girl next door either. I still have like my really unique style, just like way toned down. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that for business sakes? Is that because you are growing is that because I always found like keeping a neutral look as an actor was always kind of good, because then you could just take your neutral look in any direction that you want.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but you still
Yeah,
got
I guess.
a style, what is your personal style? I mean, when you think about it, I mean, what's some words that you can sort of connect to your style?
Well, I think my style will always be a little bit um there will always be some elements of goth to it, just because I had growing up, I went through two goth periods. Not just one, two. I own so many dark clothing and chokers and just black lipsticks and all that. So like there will always be black leather in one article, like one piece of clothing in an outfit. There will always be something black, a little bit goth, a little bit edgy. But then now I try to pair them up with more neutral, like more like neutral colored, some designer stuff as well. So try to class it up.
That's good. It's good to mix. I didn't even think about, like, you always have something leather or black or something goth, just to
Oh
stay
my
connected
yeah.
to that look. That's
Yeah.
good. I mean, I probably, if I examined my style, I mean, but basically my style is just shorts and t-shirts, I mean, I am in true quarantine wear. I have nothing to dress up for. Uh, Nothing whatsoever. So I can't say. So I'd have to say that my style is, I put a little T-shirt in my everyday style when I. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But good, because you had two goth periods.
I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I did. I went through two goth periods.
Is just looks, or is this the whole scene? Is this the music? Is this the
I think it's more the look for me, because I'm a very visual person, and I just really liked how it made the people who were dressed in that style, they always looked so cool to me. I was just naturally drawn to them. I wanted to make friends with them, and then I was trying to fit in, and before I knew it, I was kind of goth. And
That was one of the positives of being a theater kid in high school, is that you really did get to widen your friend circle of, types of
oh my
people.
God, yeah, yeah. I think I make friends with from all walks of life. Yeah, I
Yes.
don't limit my friend circle.
Yeah, same. I mean, because there's good everywhere. There's good people everywhere. We all have our flaws, and we all have character flaws, but I mean,
Oh
some
yeah.
find a way to overcome them. And yeah, I'm the same. I just try to widen my friend circle as much as possible. That's why I'm talking to my friend in Vancouver, Canada.
Woohoo! He's got a Canadian friend.
I do.
How exotic is that?
It really is very exotic. It really is. It's so exotic to have a neighbor to the north, really.
Oh.
You're directly north. Vancouver is just right above.
Yes, same time zone. I'm just directly 2 hours flight.
Good.
Upwards.
That's good. So we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun at NIFA. What was your takeaways of your whole experience there? I mean, you were there at a very interesting time. There was a lot of changeover. There was a lot of strange things happening.
Yes.
I really won't go. I mean, I don't know. I don't really want to go into much detail about it, but what was your takeaway from your experience there as a student?
I think I really started to embrace who I am after I started film school. Before that, I was always trying to be somebody else, and I would I always try to imitate somebody. Like I would pick like a group of people and I try to imitate. Like when I was growing up, I wanted to fit in with the Taiwanese kids. So I would just imitate the way they dress, the way they talk, even down to the accent. So it's so and then at one time I wanted to be goth, so I was the way I dress, and I even I don't even smoke, and then I was smoking cigarettes for some reason suddenly, and writing sad, angry poems about how I hate life, or I don't know. darkness. So before that I was always trying to be like a certain type. I thought, oh, maybe I belong to this group, maybe I belong to that group. And when I started film school, just going through all the trainings and the classes, and I finally just I was okay, I'm just gonna be myself, and my voice dropped. Before I kind of really talked, or maybe because I was younger too, I was talking up here a lot, and then it just boom, just dropped. That was my biggest takeaway. Just dropping, my voice dropped, and I was just more real. I'm because I'm embracing myself.
That's great that you got great vocal work out of your experience there, that it changed your whole way of speaking. That really is a big thing. I mean, it's a big change. I mean, age being that thing, but that's pretty great. Wow.
Yeah, someone from my childhood, we had a mutual friend, and that's how he knew me. But the last time he saw me, I was 16, and then recently we got in touch again, and then and then we came out for coffee, and obviously not inside the coffee shop, but we had to take coffee to go, and we were just having coffee in a park, and then he's like, wow, he's like, you changed so much, I can't even remember what you looked like when you were 16, because you changed so much. Just your whole aura changed. Yeah, I changed a lot, I guess.
Do a lot of growing up, you do a lot growing up in school, especially with as much work as they threw at you. I mean, NIFA kept you busy,
Oh yeah.
you guys always were just exhausted and didn't have time for any of it most of the time.
That's why I was always looking forward to Tom's class, dear class, because I finally get to like relax and have some fun, and there's no homework usually.
You brought the energy. It's really interesting. You were talking about how you were basically just trying to find your tribe, and you're willing to immerse yourself in any of those tribes by being one of them, and almost, I don't want to say disguise, but almost, disguising yourself. And that's one of the first things I recognized in you, that I think that your character acting is great. You showed an amazing range at a very young age. And it could be attributed to what you were hunting for, in becoming sort of a master of disguise. You found that character work I can change my voice, I can change my look, and and I can look completely different to my friends who used to know me then.
Oh my God, you're so right. Thank you, by the way, for thinking that, I do like my character work is good. I was a master of disguise. Like I said, I throughout my childhood and early teenage years, I was trying to fit into different groups. And then when I tried to fit in, I would like completely reinvent myself, and I'm really successful at it, that people can't even tell I used to belong to another tribe. They would think, oh, she was Goth since she was born, like they wouldn't doubt me like in any way.
Well, I think that's that's interesting. It's something to learn, and then you take those sort of soft skills that you learn on the streets, the mean streets of Gothville, where you put on some black eyeliner, or what have you. I was just again, I kind of knew I wanted to be an actor when I was 8. There wasn't anything that I really wanted to change about my look. I always just wanted to be kind of neutral and boring looking, I guess. With a little edge of style. I don't think I'm boring. Very interesting eyewear all the time. I have to wear glasses, so I might as well keep it interesting. But it's just kind of that, never got tattoos. Tattoos never interested me, or piercing. To sort of separate. It was always just about keeping it general, and then I can change my look whenever I want it.
Exactly. I loved. Oh. I loved your the IHOP commercial so much. Like, I keep hoping that they would actually do more with featuring you in it. Like, maybe do a backstory of the character you were playing in that commercial, right? What's the story? Seriously.
It was interesting. I was just talking about that the other day, because you never know what you're going to get when you're on set. You never know what the director's going to do. And there is an expanded, that commercial is probably all of 15-second long. And I got the tagline, tagline, which was
the
an
best
improvised line. It was improvised. It was not scripted.
What?
So
no way.
It was an improvised tagline.
Okay, well, you know what? Yeah, you could do it. You could do it.
But it was like if you go like on IHOP YouTube, I think there's a 30-second version of it where the director has given all of the extras lines too. So it's just this sort of long form of him taking it away from the principals and finding out more of it. So it's like there you just never know what you're going to get. You might get that expanded version. I don't think that ever aired. I don't think the 30-second ever aired. It was always sort of a quick 15. What did I tell you, bozos, about playing in the exhibit to not? And then it went to the thing.
Yeah. I gotta say, it's one of the best
Oh, thank you.
Commercials I've ever seen. Seriously. Yeah. Very like, it's hard for commercials to make people laugh nowadays because so many things have been done already. So it's hard to find like new, like innovative ideas. And that was one of the super innovative, like,
Yeah, I really kind of like the whole dry comedy of commercials. I'm fortunate to have done one where I wasn't the dopey husband that gets it all wrong, you know. Those commercials drive me nuts, you know,
uh-huh.
even though, you know, I mean, middle-aged white guy probably deserves it, but still, you know, it's
Do
just
you get cast that a lot? The dopey husband type?
I don't really, you know. I think
Okay.
that I'm relieved that I've avoided dopey husband, you know, that gets it all wrong, that, you know, and it's supposed to shine light on hero wife, you know, in the commercial game they call it hero guy or hero wife. There's a language to it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm fortunate that I haven't been able to do spots like that where it's actually pretty engaging. Most of the stuff that I've done has been improvised. Most of the commercial stuff that you see is all been improvised. And I can't
Wow.
really think of, maybe there's a couple of things where I actually had to stick to dialogue, but really it was more
Wow.
form and they got it. So I've been fortunate to
Wow.
work with directors who are improv friendly and love what you have to say, you know, and use it.
Wow.
So
So are you saying that maybe for an actor to be successful in commercials, in getting commercial work, having the skills of improvisation is very important
it
because
is.
mm,
It is very important. Improv makes you a better actor. Acting makes you a better improviser. It's something that I've said since I was a very young person, and I believe that. I really do think that that is the case. I think that if you learn the history of theater, you're going to have to apply it to improvisation, performance improvisation at point. And of course, it's a no-brainer that being comfortable with improvisation makes you a better actor. You know,
wow, that's gold.
it makes you
Mm,
better. It makes you better at responding in the moment because, I mean, you got scripted words there, and I don't know. I guess I'm kind of a Mammodite when it comes to script work. That everything you need to know about the character is on the page. So
mhm.
so now you've learned the rules of improv. Now you apply those rules of improv to the script. You read the script, you do exactly what the script tells you to, unless the director tells you different. And I think that you're gold. But I mean, then it's fresh. You know, it's lines, but it's fresh because you can choose to respond differently.
Wow, that's so interesting because I was just taking a acting workshop up here in Vancouver, and the teacher who was doing the workshop, he told us that he's like, well, if you're reading for a theatrical audition, then you have a little room to maybe like improvise. But if you're reading for a commercial audition, then there's no room for improvisation at all. Like, and he was very certain about what he was saying, but now hearing you say completely opposite, that's very fascinating. I mean,
I'm not going to tell him that he's wrong. I'm sure he has his reasons for saying it. However, experience in my experience, the anything that's, you know, 85% of what is aired that I've been on a commercial, usually
wow,
whatever's coming out of my mouth has been improvised.
I love that. I love that. That's so great.
Yeah.
Not everything is black and white. I mean, like anything can happen. If you're a great improv actor like Tom over here, and the doors just open for you.
Maybe, I don't know, you know, I mean, improv is the thing to have. It is the thing to have, but it is also, especially in the United States, going through a pupil stage right now. It is going through a skin shedding, and it's happening on
Yes.
social media.
Yes.
You can read about it, and it's probably necessary, but that shouldn't affect the art form. That's just the people that got involved in the art form, but the art form is still the same. The rules are still the same. You can still apply to it, is what I believe. Um,
Mhm.
but whether it's going to be a number one thing that you need on your resume to do XYZ, it's up in the air, because I don't know, taking an improv class over Zoom is probably pretty weird. I have yet to teach one or yet to be in one. So
Yeah.
could be a very strange experience because I don't know, because they're not there.
I know. I've been doing some scene reading with an actor friend of mine. His name is Edgy. I call him Edgy Son because like he's Japanese. Like it's just polite to add a son after their name. I don't know. So I was reading with. I've been reading with Edgy Son every week. He was in The Terror, a TV show called The Terror. He was like in the second season. I think it was the second season, but we've been trying to do that on Zoom, and it's better than nothing, obviously, but it's just not the same. It's not the same.
Nah, it isn't, but we'll see what's next. What comes down the pike, or how are they going to handle doing really, really small crew in order to
How are they gonna? Yeah, seriously.
it's going to take time. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
I really do think that time fixes everything. I don't know how much time a lot of people have, but I mean, it's a great thing of being an actor is that if you want to be an actor bad enough, the things you're willing to do in order to be an actor, the things you say yes to in order just for stage time or screen time or whatever, is pretty important. I mean, I know that I got something like that, but I want to jump ahead after the rock and roll time we had in improv at NIFA. What was after NIFA? How long did you stick around here? I know that I saw you a couple of times. We hung out socially a couple of times after your graduation, but
Yes.
what then after that?
Sure. So after I graduated, I was very lucky that I got to work with Disney for a little bit. So I helped Disney to develop their first language learning app. It's this app that was designed for iPad. It's called Disney Mandarin Toy Story 3, and it was developed by Disney English. Let me tell you a little bit about Disney English. Disney English is a educational program for teaching English as a second language to children using Disney's stories and characters. And I think to date, there are over 20 Disney English centers in China. So I was working on this app with Disney, and I was the sole narrator. So the entire app was just my voice. You can't hear anybody else, even if you wanted. No, yeah, you only get Elsi voice. And I had I had the pleasure to work with Brett, who is a senior audio producer at the Walt Disney Company. He produces educational music, audiobooks, and interactive audio content and all that good stuff for global distribution. So it was very cool. And what's even more cool is that in a later I also asked him for a recommendation letter. So in this recommendation letter he wrote for me, I actually have it right here, not vain at all. I just happen to have it right here. So in his letter, in his words, okay, the following in his words: the project required me to find a voiceover performer with an extremely unique skill set. First, she had to be a vibrant, engaging storyteller. Next, she had to be a fluent speaker of both English, the standard American dialect, and standard Mandarin Chinese, 普通话 dialect, with native level pronunciational accuracy in both. With the help of the largest voiceover casting agency in Los Angeles and Disney Character Voices Shanghai, I conducted an extensive talent search on 2 continents. Elsie was not just our top choice. She was the only choice. Very flattering letter, huh?
Yes. Wow.
Yeah,
That gave me chills a little bit. I just felt that on the back of my neck.
Wow. What gave you chills? The letter, the letter, or my voice?
The compliments that he gave, and the voice too. You used your, you leaned into it and gave me a little announcer voice. It was
just giving you a little taste of what I can do, the voiceover stuff I can do.
So tell me really quick, how many languages do you speak?
I speak, well, I'm bilingual. I'm fluent in English and Mandarin Chinese.
Okay. All right. And you're picking up some Italian as you make.
Yes. And I'm still learning Italian on this little app on my phone. So I try to like take out 10 minutes a day to just like learn some words, because I would really love to speak Italian.
Same thing, Spanish. I've been trying to learn Spanish for years.
Ooh.
Really, when you're really around Spanish speaking all the time, there's no reason that I shouldn't know a few things, a few phrases. I
would love to learn Spanish too, but then I can only do one at a time. So I'm just gonna do Italian for now, and once I master that,
you probably pick up Spanish very easily once you get Italian down. I imagine it's probably
okay.
So you work with Disney. That is fascinating. It seems like by working bilingual seems to be a focus in your acting career. Because I think you reached out to me wanting to teach improv games, and it was for some ESL. Maybe we'll talk about that in a little bit, but just carry on with the timeline. So after the Disney app, what
Right. Okay, yeah. So more amazing stuff happened because the app turned out beautifully. It was like featured even on Australian news, and a lot of moms made YouTube videos of their toddlers learning English or Mandarin to the sound of my voice using the app, and it was so, like I was like finding all these cute like YouTube videos on YouTube. It was so adorable, and the app itself did really good. It has won the AEP award, which I think stands for Achievement of Excellence in Procurement or something cool like that. So I did Disney proud. I think it's safe to say that. And after that, I'm just sort of like on Disney's radar, and because of working on this app, I realized one of my personal callings, which is working with children. And that's why in the past 3 years, I've been teaching kids from 5 to 17 acting, public speaking, and broadcasting.
Yes, I remember you brought the broadcasting. You were teaching broadcasting, and you were wanting.
Yes.
And you're wanting to expand your scope of warm-up, I think it was. I think you reached out to me for some warm-up stuff.
Yes, and that was all to prepare for these classes with these children and teens. And I've been working with children for the past 3 years, and it's been such a amazing experience. I try to incorporate a lot of the comedy and improv stuff I learned from you as into my classes. And it doesn't matter if it's for public speaking or broadcasting. I always like okay, everybody get up, let's do the Zumba dance, and they love it. Well, some of them kind of hate it, but most of them
I get it. I understand. I mean, not everybody wants to let that let them put their hands up in the air.
Is it the 9-year-old boys don't exactly want to hold hands with the other 9-year-old girls? I mean, they're like, no. I'm like, okay, no, everybody join hands.
Come on. Pass the squeeze. Come on, hold each other's hands. Pass the squeeze. I don't know if you remember that one where you pass like the little squeeze, like it's a silent circle. And
I gotta bring that one to my classes. Yeah, I gotta bring that in. Yeah.
You gotta make those 9-year-old boys feel comfortable holding hands with people. Now, is that something you still do? Are you still teaching kids?
I
Or, well, I
was
mean,
until everything stopped. I mean, the
okay, yeah.
pandemic, the parents, because our program is more like an after school program, so they're not even sending kids to school these days. So why would they send them to? I mean, the risk the catching the virus, right? So they're not going to send their precious kids to a classroom or to enclosed space. So that's why that's on hold as well. I miss my kids, my children, because they're so full of light, and their energy is so infectious. It's like sometimes being around them is better. It feels like it's better than having a cup of coffee in the morning sometimes. Yeah.
They do the job. They do it enough. They wake you up. That's
Oh
good.
yeah.
Well, well, from that, I mean, that's how I felt as a teacher. Eventually, I just moved on from teaching.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think that knife experience was the best last experience that I had.
Oh, Tom, I'm glad to hear that. So you're not teaching at the moment?
No, no, I mean only when asked, but you know what I do? I do dialect work. That's kind of what I'm teaching
That's
right.
great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, and so that's usually because somebody came to me and they said, I want to sound more American. So,
Yes.
and before all of this happened, we would probably meet a couple of times a month and work through a script and try to, I was like, well, you want to make it sound like this. It's like the magic to an American accent is just putting everything right here in your nose. Everything needs to sound nasally. And then you can just sound like any American way. You can go down south, you can go up north, go way up north. But so,
Through Canada.
but that's what education turned into, was trying to make somebody sound more American, or making somebody who television, it's mostly TV scripts that I work with them, and television is very cliche. Like there's a lot of the similar language that's used from TV show to TV show, and so you learn the rhythm of patter. It's like I'm trying to think of a line of dialogue that I've come across so many times that, no, hey, it sounds like this. Not to be. Yeah, I can't really think of a line of dialogue, but so
Drum roll. So should I do the drum roll for
right.
you now?
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
I think of a line of dialogue. I can't really think of one in particular. It's just that I've worked with her so many times and I only have one client, so it's like the easiest teaching gig ever.
Only one
And
client?
we don't meet in person. I mean, this would probably be one way to meet, via Zoom, and just go, no, make this sound like that, so.
Well, I think I do think, but for specific, just for dialect work, I think Zoom would work for that kind of one-on-one teaching, especially. Yeah.
I'd almost prefer it, really. I don't know. It's just like I've been an actor in this town for many years, and a lot of my time has been sitting at home looking at four walls waiting for the next thing to happen. So quarantining has been sort of a breeze for me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's like before that, it's like we're always trying to catch up with the industry, catch up with everybody else, all the other actors. But then now it's like suddenly, woo, everything stopped, and we're like, okay.
That's why I called this bad timing, because I think everybody that I talk to, I mean, it usually happens around January. People post on social media about, okay, 2020, it's my year. I think
I know.
there was a collective 2019 couldn't have been worse, and 2020 was ready for wait till you see what I got.
And look where we are.
Yeah. What's the status up in Vancouver with quarantine? It seems like a
Mhm.
pretty chill town anyway.
Yes. Yes. I really appreciate being in Vancouver during this special time because, yeah, it's probably one of the best places to hide right now because it's so peaceful. Like, even like, in the past week, we did have some demonstrations, but only like kept it to like a certain areas in downtown, and they kept it super peaceful. It was more like a demonstration. And before that, just people were following the rules. They're wearing their masks, and yeah. So now that things are slowly opening up, I think gyms are open now. All the restaurants are obviously open. It's just people have to be seated further apart. I'm sure the same in Los Angeles. So yeah, and then we didn't have any like there's always enough groceries in the grocery stores. It's like we didn't have that scare. We didn't have to be uh we didn't have to panic about like not being able to get groceries. And yeah, it's just relatively a safer place to be during this whole time of this pandemic.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I thought maybe it was going to be pandemonium down here in LA, and it it was a little tense for a few days, but people, as far as the pandemic goes, now
Right, right.
as far as protesting, that's a whole different story. It's like
Yes.
first we had the rioting, so we had all the smash and grab people get get that out of their system, and then it's just been protests throughout.
Hmm.
So most
Remember, I sent you a message on Instagram. I was checking up on you, just making sure that you're okay during the protesting. Yeah, yeah, because I have a friend who lives like in Fairfax, like Beverly Hills, Fairfax area, and yeah, and then just like, he didn't go out of his apartment for I think a week or something.
protesting, we have yeah, protesting is nearby, and there are still some stationary protests
I
happening
see.
down the street,
I see.
which is good to see because it hasn't really been over. But I think as more things are opening, more people are going back to work too. So
Hmm. Hmm.
that might have something to do. But there's always the weekend to go out and protest. So that seems to be the only thing that's maintained. Yeah, restaurants, bars, gyms.
Hmm.
What else? I think nail
Like
salon.
like playgrounds and like tennis courts and stuff, right? Like
Yeah, our park stuff opened a couple of weeks ago, or it's been
yeah, okay.
open for a while. But yeah, I never saw like mayhem. I mean, there are still things, and there are still items that haven't come back to the grocery store.
Oh, like what?
Bread flour,
Oh, what?
toilet paper, and paper towels too. Really, I mean, you got to go to the big box
Really?
stores to get those. Yeah,
Oh, wow. Wow.
yeah. So I mean, but we made it.
Yes. I mean, like a lot of people made New Year resolution, like big New Year resolutions this year, but I really think that the only New Year resolution this year should be to survive. If we survived this year, we can survive anything.
It's I mean, we weren't around 100 years ago when there was a flu pandemic in North America that. Well, I don't know. I think these numbers have done. I mean, these numbers are huge, but you know, North America has seen this before. We weren't alive
Hmm.
for it, so this is just another instance of may you live in interesting times,
Yeah. Yeah.
and may you adapt to the changes of it all, because it's I don't know, it's interesting. It's not fun, it's not cute, even though it's it's interesting to see some of the things change. I think survival is imminent.
Hmm.
The worst thing that
Yes.
can happen is, an earthquake or an asteroid, and you don't have any control over that. You do have control over putting a mask on your face while going outside.
Exactly. So just do it.
That's the
Just
only thing you have control of. You don't
yes.
have control of the temperature. You don't have control of how people are going to drive around you, but you can't put a mask on. So.
And I understand it's not the most comfortable thing, but it's not a torture, guys. Like I feel like a lot of people are making such a big deal. It's like, oh, I can't wear a mask. I feel like I can't breathe. I mean, we'll have to take these measures to protect ourselves, to protect our families, and everyone around us.
Yeah, just if you are considering yourself, then consider yourself wearing a mask all the time. Just
Yes, well said.
Selfish about it, then just think about how I don't want to get sick. These other people are going to make me sick. But a lot of people just are, I don't know, immune. Quote think they're immune. I don't know. You sent me some pictures. I think you sent me some production stills of a show that you were doing. It seemed like hospital related or
Right. Yeah, so this was a mini series. It's a medical drama. It's called 1050. I play a doctor. They originally wanted to have a male doctor because when they cast me, they had to change the doctor's name. But then, I went in reading for another role, and they're like, "Oh, we really want you to play the doctor." I'm like, yeah, I always play the doctor. I'm Asian, so I'll be good at it. So okay, you're in good hands. No pun intended. Yeah, so I play a doctor in that.
Now is that also something that is on hold because of what's going on?
Yes. Yep. It is.
But it's a gig. So if they were to start back up, you'd maybe go back to work?
Hopefully. Yeah. Everybody's sort of just waiting.
Yeah. Everyone's just sort of waiting. It's interesting, but what other things do you want to cover? What do you want to tell me about?
Sure.
Tell me, kid.
I'm not done with my Disney success story.
Oh my gosh, tell me more about Disney.
I continued to work with Disney. Like I said, after that I was just on Disney's radar, right? So then they brought me back again for this other project. And this time I didn't even have to audition. They just brought me back because they loved working with me. And so for this project, I was supposed to be a language coach for a vocalist. His name's Moy Navarro, and I was supposed to assist him to record a song that has a few Chinese phrases. So it was simple. I coach, he sings, because he's the real deal singer, and I am an expert in Mandarin. So Moy Navarro, let me tell you a little bit about him. He's a independent recording artist based in Los Angeles, and he just has the voice of an angel. It just if you ever see him perform live, it would just bring tears to your eyes. It's just he's so good.
What was his name again? I'm sorry. What was his?
Moy Navarro.
Moy Navarro. Okay.
Yes. That's why Disney, because he's so good, Disney hired him to write and record this song for Disney English for all the learning centers in China at that time. So remember, I was supposed to just coach him, right? Because so he can sing those phrases in Mandarin, because he's the singer. I'm just, the coach. But I don't know how it happened, but somehow Moy asked me to sing a little bit first. For some reason, I ended up just standing in the recording booth. And I remember I was standing there and I was so scared because I'm not a professional singer. And I had to sing in front of a professional, musician and all the people from Disney, the producers. It could have been really nerve-wracking. But you know me, my personality, I like, I was nervous, obviously. I don't deny that, but I just jumped at it. I was like, okay, I need to rise to the occasion. I just do it. So I opened my mouth and I sang. And as soon as they heard my voice, Moy said this, and I could never forget that to this day. He said, you have a beautiful voice. You should just sing this. And that was the biggest compliment I could, like, one of the biggest compliments I've ever gotten, coming from someone who has the voice of an angel, who is an angel probably. And the rest is history. I get to sing alongside Moy. We collaborated on this song together, and the music video came out beautifully. There were clips of me singing, clips of Moy singing, cut to clips of like Lion King, Pocahontas, Mulan, and all these like classical Disney movies. And we had a lovely little screening at Disney's headquarters.
That is wild.
It's so wild, right?
It's amazing. It's just amazing. You think you're doing one thing, and next thing you know, the gig, it totally changes on you and becomes something bigger.
Exactly. And the most, I'm not a professional singer, but I think what really helped me is my positive winning personality. Like, because I'm open to jump on any project, and I'm always ready. And I wanted to share this story today on your show, because I want to tell everyone to don't be so hard on yourselves, and don't be so hard and doubtful of yourselves. Just open yourself up to opportunities. When opportunities come your way, don't doubt it. Just take it.
Yeah. It's the business of yes. Acting is the business of yes. Sometimes you just say yes.
Like the improv exercise we used to do, the yes and.
That's the whole crux of it right there. That is the power center of improv, is just say yes to it.
Say yes. Yeah.
It's really, I mean, actors can have many different types of jobs. I mean, think about all the different occupations that you have besides actor to learn,
Yes.
just to get by in acting, all the different experiences that you're willing to have in order to get the job. So it's inspiring, but it's also, you're hired for this. You didn't have to audition for this job. Once you walked into the room, the job changed, and that's a testament to you, though. That's a testament to you and your willingness to do the work, and that's pretty important.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, my acting career, to be honest, has not always been smooth. I mean, these are the highlights. And I feel like obviously I do sometimes have doubts of myself. I'm not like a Super Saiyan status or Buddha himself. So how I cope with this business, it's not an easy business, right, Tom? It's probably one of the hardest, the most difficult careers to stay in, right?
I don't know what we're thinking, really, most of the
I know, right? We must be crazy, both of us, you and me. We're just two crazy people talking to each other. Hey.
I know. It really is. I mean, it's craziness, but there's something in it, I mean, I guess there's something a little self-satisfying about it, but then
yes, when you do get to work on those cool projects with these cool people, talented people, it's so rewarding. But yeah, during the time when you're waiting, or you're just auditioning, you're waiting, it could get really like you could feel really lost in that process. So what has been working for me, especially lately, is I've been asking myself empowering questions. I ask myself, am I going to work and be loved in this industry? Yes. Is my career a journey instead of a race? absolutely yes. And when I ask myself these questions and I say yes to that, makes me feel so much better.
Yeah.
Gives me so much power.
It puts you, it puts you at ease. It is a marathon. It is not a race. Even though there are several people, I mean, it is a marathon. Think about how many people will run a marathon just to finish it. I mean,
right.
To say they did it, you know?
Right.
And that is just their personal journey. You know, there's a lot of false competition that is created in this. And of course, you know, I mean, only one person is going to get a part as a doctor on a show. You know, there's only one person that's going to get it, but you know, somebody is making that decision. There isn't, you didn't make that decision. Well, maybe you made that decision for the director by going in and knocking it out of the park. You made their decision easier by being the person that they wanted. But this rivalry in acting is counterproductive. You know, we're all kind of going after the same thing. And nobody knows what they want most of the time until
I think having a positive mindset is the most important. I mean, having the talent and put in the work is very important, but also to last in this business is to have a positive mindset. Is there any like empowering like questions you ask yourself, or like any personal models you want to share with me as well?
Well, let's see. I don't know if I have like any, do I have any sort of catchphrases?
I'm sure you do.
I probably do. Yeah, one thing that I've always sort of stuck to is do what you have to do what you want. You know,
I love that.
But you know, that comes with some things. You know, I mean, that comes with a lot of amendments. You know, do what you have to do what you want, as long as you're not hurting other people to do it. You know, would be the little amendment in there. It is not a license just to do whatever you want and everybody else has to deal with your consequences. No. It's just that if you have a goal set out, then you're willing to take the steps in order to achieve the goal. And
that's great.
Also, my other nugget is happy is not a destination. It's the speed in which you travel.
Yes, exactly.
And happiness is something you have to choose. You know, you have to envision what it is to be happy. And again, unfortunately, there is that universal rule that you envisioning what makes you happy falls short of other people's suffering. You know, I mean, that can't be the thing happy to drive you. You know,
no.
Happy has to be something that you, I don't know, cannot be touched, smelled, or tasted, unless that's where you find happiness. You find it in sense and, you know, touching and, you know, connection and
I think the sensory organs bring us a lot of pleasure, but I think true happiness definitely comes from within. It's something that has to come from the heart. It's like if your heart is happy, then it doesn't matter what you touch or feel or smell. Like it just it gives you a reason to smile.
And it has nothing to do with mood, you know. I mean, you're going to, you know, you're going to have days when you're not, but that isn't the thing that decides whether you're happy or not, you know. It's, you know, I've heard the phrase over and over again, I just want to be happy. Well, you can make that decision right
now.
You can make that decision right now. Oh, you want to be happy? Then decide to do it.
Exactly.
But wait, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, it does.
It does. We always had that choice. We just don't know. A lot of us don't know we had that choice, but we do. We can make that choice right now.
You can, despite obstacles. And
despite obstacles, yeah.
You know, it might be very easy for me to say, you can choose to be happy every day if you want, but there are always obstacles that you have to overcome.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you can't stop your drive. That doesn't mean that you can't keep on keeping on, plow through.
Yeah.
There's plenty to do all of the time. I'm finding that there's never a point where there isn't something I shouldn't be doing for myself, for my life, for my sanity.
Yeah, and I mean, look at you. I mean, like, we're still, the pandemic is still not exactly over, but you're staying positive. You're doing this podcast. You're staying creative.
Trying to stay a little creative.
You're choosing to stay happy. Doesn't matter what's happening around us right now.
Decide to do it every day. If you wake up and the decision isn't there, then better luck tomorrow. You know, it really is. And if tomorrow doesn't happen, then, you know, it's just there's just a lot of inevitabilities. There's a lot of I've seen this meme: relax, no one's in control. Which is, nobody's in control. Relax. You're not.
I love that. One thing I've been telling myself lately inside my head is I'm like, Elsie, you need to let go of control. You need to let go of the desire to want to control everything, and then you'll relax and just chill out.
Yeah, I mean, you're fun loving too, so it could and I think that is the root of relaxation, is of keeping that idea of fun loving around. Yeah. And what is relaxation? I think meditation is relaxation, a chance to shut off your brain for 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night. I don't know what your ritual is, but, you know, I mean, shutting off your brain for a little bit and just trying to have quiet thoughts. It really changes your day. That's a good way to start being happy right there, I think.
Yes.
What is your meditation practice?
Well, I meditate for 40 minutes to an hour every day. And because I follow Tibetan Buddhism, so a lot of my meditation has visualizations in it. And that's pretty much it. Yeah.
And that's daily? Is that something you decide to do every day?
Yes, that's something I do every day.
To an hour. Wow. What's happening during that time? I mean, besides you said visualization. So
right.
Mental visualization, are you closing your eyes, taking pencil to paper and doing this sort of meditation?
Mental visualization.
Okay.
Yes.
How long have you been practicing it?
I've been practicing Buddhism for 3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
And what is the benefit that you've gotten from Buddhism?
Yes.
Or is it something huge? Take it away. Tell me.
It's huge. So huge. I don't even know where to start, but I can say with absolute honesty that I am a happier person now, and I rarely have extreme thoughts. Doesn't matter if I am encountering a very difficult situation. A lot of people would have extreme thoughts like, oh my God, like, you know, I never have those extreme thoughts anymore. I'm able to look at situation calmly. I'm able to let go of things, which was difficult for me before. I always held on to things, especially things that I deem as like valuable to me, like, or things I love and adore. I always had trouble letting go of those things now, because I'm slowly getting into the mindset that everything is in constant flux. Everything is in constant flow. So the best way is to go with the flow. I mean, that's I'm sure that's not the first time you've heard that saying. It's not the first time I've heard that saying, but really putting that into practice, not let it just be a bumper sticker, but really putting that into practice.
Yeah.
Putting it into practice is difficult. It's easier to say, yeah, I'm just going with the flow right now, but like, are you really going with the flow?
With the flow, you know, it's just like, I'm going to throw out a word to you: surrender. People surrender because surrender sounds like you're giving up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you are, but sometimes it's time to surrender some of those poor ideas that you have about yourself. So sometimes it's time to give up all of that garbage that you think about yourself on a daily basis, that you filter that is. So surrender can be very powerful if you put it into terms of what you are surrendering. So you can surrender your resentments. You can surrender your hate.
A heavy burden that you've been carrying with you from like a past trauma or guilt or shame.
It is okay to let that shit go, because people will pile that up. Hell, man, people will hoard that stuff. They will make space in their brains for that stuff where it doesn't necessarily need to be. So I'm glad that you're staying positive. I'm glad that you're in a constant state of reinvention, which I think is great. I mean, why not? Why not be in a constant state of reinvention? You might have. I'm thinking you have a third goth phase in you.
Oh my God! I hope not.
No, you don't think it's going to come back?
I don't know if I can handle a third goth phase. Yeah.
What any takeaways from your goth days? Was there any sort of, you know, I mean, you keep the facts going, but what about the message of goth?
Besides I look good in leather, let's see.
This is true.
There is
true, people.
I think there is a lot of a lot of people think light is good, darkness is bad, but then I think there is a lot of beauty in darkness. Not like, when I say darkness, I don't want you to like think I'm talking about like people doing horrible things to other people. I'm talking about, if there is no darkness, we cannot see light. So in that way, if there's no yin, there's no yang. It gives that contrast, I guess.
Balance.
Yeah, it gives that balance. So like I gotta appreciate that.
That is that's wonderful. I can't believe we have been chatting for an hour and a half.
Oh my God!
Can you believe it? That's wonderful. That's great.
No, I can't believe that.
I know, right? It's just, well, I mean, I haven't spoke to you in such a long time, so I'm really glad to catch up with you. And
me too.
And I'm always excited about your endeavors, really. And I'm very excited. I hope that you make it to Los Angeles, because...
Oh, me too. Hopefully next time we chat, we'll be in person.
We'll be in person, yes. It will be good, and we can really get down to the nitty-gritty. Get back to some down home creating.
Ooh, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I just want to say thank you. I'm so grateful to be a guest on the Bad Timing with Velvet Tom show. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. Do you want to do any plugs? Like, how can people find you? How can people watch your video?
Sure. Yes. So both my Instagram and my YouTube account are under Elsi Doll, ELSIDOLL. Elsi Doll.
Great. And that's where you want people to go, Instagram and YouTube.
Yes, that's where they can check out my videos and my creative travel posts.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm going to definitely go check out more because I know that you probably have more than a couple of those travel videos that I can see. You're just so damned entertaining. I love seeing you in action. So, I mean, it's
Aw.
my way of getting to see you in action.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Thank you for all your support.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and stop this, but we shouldn't stop conversating.
Okay.
There you go, another exciting episode in the hopper with my guest, Elsi Eng. It was really good to talk to her, see her face, find out more about her, really, because, we're just teacher and student, and as we talked, they were very busy. All we did was goof around for 3 hours, and then I sent them on their merry to go do the real work of acting. And it was really good to chat with her today. Boy, oh boy. So I think also the important message is wear your mask when you are out, California. And I think it's nationwide at this point. Let's lower that curve so we can travel again. So friends like Elsi can travel to Los Angeles and seek her fortune as a television and movie actor down here. If you're not going to do it for yourself and your loved ones, do it for Elsi. We appreciate it. Also, you heard that you can reach her on YouTube and Instagram at Elsi Doll. So look her up. All that will be posted on the YouTube episode. Wow, it's been a great one. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you listening. Remember, go to velvettom.com for all things Velvet Tom. Donate to the show at velvet-tom at Venmo. I love you very much. Stay velvet.